invasive species is the Ailanthus latissimus, also known as the tree of heaven, more like an alien invader. So the Ailanthus latissimus is also known as the tree of heaven. It's a deciduous tree that has become invasive of the temperate regions of North America and Europe. Due to its invasiveness and its alien appearance, it has gotten the nickname alien tree. It does stand out among the other trees here. It's very, you know, it's invasive when you see it. This tree can go up to 80 plus feet tall. It can thrive pretty much anywhere, but it doesn't really like cold places. This tree originated in China and Taiwan, and it was originally introduced as a landscaping, like decorative landscaping, and it became really popular and spread really rapidly. It has a really high tolerance and pretty much resistance to disease and insect damage, so it's also helped its invasiveness. It really likes cleared sites and things like that. So I'm gonna try to play this video. I don't know how well the sound's gonna be, so y'all let me know if you can hear it or not. Well, if it's gonna.
No sound.
No sound? Okay. You said there's no sound?
No sound. Just
Okay.
narrate through the video.
Okay, I'll just narrate through it. So this is the tree of heaven. It shows all um, the leaflets on there. They can have up to 40 per acres. Um, the bark is like, it's almost like a yellowish. There's a lot of little lenticels and very big leaf scars. Um, it grows about 2 feet per year. They're very tall. One tree could be like pretty tall compared to like the native species there. Um, you can see at the bottom of the tree, there's not a whole lot of trees around there because they're allelopathic, and you can see that there's some there that have sprouted, and the power company went here and chopped them down. It's growing on the roadside, so so there was a power line that fell recently. You can see it in the video, and they went through and kind of cleared the hillside a few years ago. So that's why it has sprouted up so good here. And the video is showing how disturbed the site is and the other complaints of it. Yeah, that's that video. Um, so I took that video on the roadside. So it's a pretty disturbed site. So I thought that would probably be the best place to show this tree. This is in Jackson County, West Virginia. So we really don't see a lot of this tree there. Just I don't really know why we don't see it there. It just hasn't made its way there as much. Some nicknames of this tree are the alien tree. Like I said before, its appearance is really stands out. The tree of heaven is its most common name. The stinking sumac. So it has like a shiny spot, like a shiny-ish bark. So like sumac has that. So and also it stinks really bad if you crush the leaves or if you like break a branch. So stinky sumac is pretty fitting for it. The tree of hell is another one because it destroys things, so nobody likes it. And then the ghetto palm. It grows on disturbed sites, so it's kind of self-explanatory. And how big like the leaflets are, it kind of looks like a palm tree. So next is the description of the tree. I'm gonna move this up so I can read that. The tree of heaven is known for, like I said, its striking appearance. It can grow up to 80 feet tall. It can grow 1 to 2 feet per year, which is higher than most native oak species. It has 20 to 40 leaflets per rachis. Its large leaflets create a really dense canopy, so it doesn't let a lot of light penetrate the soil around it. So among its allelopathic tendencies, it also can it can shade out the shade intolerant species, so it makes things not grow there. If you crush So the has glandular teeth at the base of the leaflets, and it excretes a really strong odor. The odor it smells really bad. Some people say it has smelled like burnt peanut butter or eating rotting flesh. Um, Easy to spot because usually found growing in a group that's excessively tall. So you can chop it and it will grow from its stump. So it usually looks really crazy, like almost like an octopus. And then next. Okay, so its native range, like I said, it is from China and Taiwan. Um, it was first introduced here um, as a ornamental. It was introduced in 1784 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was introduced as an exotic ornamental shade tree. So they had it in their like front yards, all that. It later became more widespread when the gold rush hit. A lot of the Chinese immigrants that came over for that, they used it for medicinal. And so it has pretty much every single part of the tree can be used as some medical thing for them. We don't typically use it for anything just because it stinks and we just really don't like it here, I guess. Um, it was also encouraged as a food source for silkworms. And by 1902, the U.S. Department of Agriculture had began distributing seeds. So that's another reason why it's so invasive. And then the range, it's pretty much everywhere other than the cold places. Um, it's become a really big problem in North America, Europe, and Korea, mostly in the disturbed and urban areas. The Department of Agriculture said that the invasive spread is a nationwide issue. Um, the eastern and Midwest U.S., the tree of heaven has infested hundreds of acres of oak hickory forests. The National Invasive Species Information Center cites the Ailanthus altissima as being the most invasive species in the South and the West, and the West Virginia DNR has listed it as one of the top 10 most invasive species in the state. So everyone hates this tree. So this is the EDD distribution map. This map was provided by EDD and shows the invasiveness. So you can see that in the colder regions, it really doesn't like it. It's all over West Virginia and all over here, but it just doesn't like Canada because it's cold. Okay, so the ecological impact. It reproduces rapidly and increases the dense canopy that covers shades out the other plants. It's root suckering, so it has really aggressive root undergrowth and it sucks the nutrients out of the soil from the other plants. It is highly productive seed maker, so it has there's a picture coming up, and it's just a big ball of seeds. It is dioecious, so it reproduces through male and female trees. Um, it changes the biodiversity of the ecosystem and changes what plants are available for animals to use as a food source. Like overtaking oak forest leaves no acorns. Animals do not really like eating this plant, other than the spotted lanternfly. It loves this tree. And it's another invasive species. It is really fast growing and it really likes to destroy foundations of houses, sewer systems, and pavement. So the control and management of this species. Um, so they have tried some fungal methods. Move this over. There we go. Verticulum non-alfalfa, I think that's what it's called, which could be possible choice for selective infection. However, this method could be dangerous to nearby native species, so they don't really like to use it as much. They're under study of some mites and weevils to possibly maybe eat some of the seeds and eat their way through the tree. There are 3 natural threats to the tree, which is the verticulum wilt, the armillaria root rot, and the Cynthia moth larva. So those things do harm it, but it doesn't kill it. It just kind of stunts it for a while. There are some chemical control methods. They usually are ineffective and can cause harm to other trees, but they can help some if you use it correctly. Um, Imazapri, that's how you say it, and tri triclopyr can be effective only when applied to cut stumps. So they like to do the hack and squirt, I think is what it's called, and that I think is the most effective. According to the USDA, the herbicide control is a better control method than a prescribed fire because any missed or dormant seedlings are likely to spread rapidly on a fresh site. So they actually like fire. So it's good for the tree. Mechanical control. Cutting is a common attempt, but ineffective due to its quick resprouting ability. Sprouts can go up to 10 feet per year after this because they like the disturbance. It will require repeated follow-up. And then it says native plants can change the microbes found in the tree of heaven and can encourage it to grow more. So the multifaceted management approach is the best. So using all of the things I mentioned is probably going to kill it, like try to kill it the best, but in reality, this tree is just terrible. And then so this is my concept map. So it kind of just goes over everything that I've said, along with some pollinators actually do use this tree. They have kind of big flowers. They're yellow. The pollinators do use it. Um, Herbivores don't really eat this tree. Like nothing really eats it other than like the moth. So um, it gets rid of like the food for other animals, and then alterates the soil microbes. Um, there's no real competition with this tree. It kind of just lives. It it kills the other trees, so it makes competition for them, but not really for this tree. And then, so this is a tree that is in GSU. It's up there by the Public Safety Office. This tree is a great representation of how other species don't grow close to it. It's not a great picture, but you can see at the base of the tree that there's just mostly stilt grass. There's not really any other trees there. Where's my mouse? There it is. Okay. And then this is the power line right away in my video. Um, and it just kind of talks about how the power company went through and chopped all the trees down to get out of the power line right away. So it made this tree grow really good there. And then this is its alien-like appearance. It's very light-colored bark, and this is a better picture of like its leaf scar and its lenticels. And then this is the seed cluster that I was talking about. You can see that it has a lot of little samaras, and they're pretty resilient to anything. And then this is some understory growth. This photo was taken by John M. Randall. I did not take this one. It shows the understory growth. Like this is all tree of heaven right here, just living its best life. Mm-hmm. And these are its stink glands. So right at the base of the leaf, especially right here, you can see that it's stink glands. You can crush it and it smells really bad. That's where the stink comes from. And then my conclusion is that this tree is really invasive and we need to do something about it because it is getting worse. Due to its ability to adapt and to reproduce at alarming rates, it's very difficult for this tree to be managed and to be controlled. We can better educate the public. Maybe they can help by reducing the spread of this tree. And that's all I have. Any questions?
All right.